watching the women's soccer, and the Matildas were doing really well all the way through this World Cup. I've got the Italian DNA in me, so by default I have to watch soccer. But it's always exciting when an Australian team does really well. And the thing that really well, there's a couple of things that sort of stood out for me was that it's like the women's version of soccer, which is basically the same thing, obviously. Finally is getting like kind of the proper recognition that it deserves. And I don't know about you, but like in terms of excitement of watching the game, I didn't see any difference between the women's game and the men's game from as far as I can tell. But I can see a similar ethic from the Australian team on from both the men's and the women's. Like, there's always the joke in soccer of the theatrics of trips and working the ref and wasting time to put the clock down, and the Australians, both men's and women's, are I find they don't play like that. They play quite straight, direct, and just go for it, which is quite refreshing. But overall, it's been a big win overall the last couple of weeks just to get that visibility, and especially for the women's game.
Oh, I totally agree, Ben. It's been marvellous watching the Matildas play and see them succeed. And look, to be honest, and I'm not much of an expert, but I'd probably say they've finished way above expectation, and probably even, to be fair, probably above where they really sit in the world scheme. But hats off to them, because you've got to play, you've got to win, you've got to get ahead, and they did, and just wonderful. And maybe a bit disappointing at the end, but only because we wanted them to go all the way. So fantastic, made me very proud to be Australian and watch them play. And the reference to the men's game and the women's game, I think there are aspects of the women's game that are better to watch than the men's. And goodness, Sam Kerr's strike against England. Would you see a better goal in any code, male or female? Absolutely sensational.
Certainly brought the house down. Let me say that. And the other thing too that's excited me about this is that obviously there's because the men's game and the women's game are 1 year after another. You basically got a double header across 2 years now. Now that they're effectively promoting it quite well.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and let's hope that both our men's and women's side can continue their successes in the World Cups.